It's that time of year, the last 10 days of the year, where everybody starts talking about what they're gonna do, what's coming up next year. Let's start planning. You know what? It's easy to make goals, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to ask yourself, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to make it happen? What is your plan of action? What are the obstacles? What are you gonna do if those obstacles comes up? We're gonna talk about it. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 20. If you're new around these parts, I'm Doc Rock. I teach you how to do everything YouTube and live stream, and we're gonna skip the rest of that salutation because we need to get right after it. Today we're talking action plans. Yes, it's that time of year where everyone makes their goals and their wishes and their dreams and their resolutions and whatever you're going to do for 2021. If you are in the middle of setting your goals, the two things I'm going to need you to do right now is number one, write it down. Write it down, get out a pen, get out a paper. I got some new paper stuff to show you later. We're not going to talk about it, but just write it down. Writing it down gets it out of your head. That's that first sort of starting, and it gives you something to reference to. And yeah, I honestly suggest you get a planner, but we won't get that deep right now. I want you to keep it really simple. If you really have plans and goals that you are trying to hit for 2021, I want you to write them down. Now, in this context, we're going to be talking about your goals for YouTube growth, and your success of your channel, but it could really be whatever you want. So if you just happen to be watching this and you're not making a channel, it's still important. Okay, the second thing you're going to have to do is you need to actually write an action plan. It is very easy to verbalize a goal and say what you're going to do. Say your goal is to get to that 1,000 subs. Give yourself a date. This is the day that I want to hit those 1,000 subs. It's very important that you start to work on a deadline. Deadline changes the game. Number one, write it down. Number two, give yourself a deadline. And you say, well, that's a lot of pressure. What if I miss the deadline? Make another deadline. But it's important to have a deadline because otherwise you just wander aimlessly with no direction. Next step in our action plan is list what you have to do. And I mean, be very specific when you generate this list. If your goal is to get to that 1,000 subs, list down the names of the groups or communities that you can go to where you can become an active member. From those active members, you can make new relationships, and from those relationships, you can get subs. Think of conferences or virtual conferences now that you need to go to. Write it all down. Write down what you're going to actively do in order to get yourself to that 1,000 subs. If you're sitting around for YouTube to show everyone your video and them to describe you, you fail, period. Period with a T. The next thing you're going to want to do is write down the knowledge, the informations, and the system that you're going to need in order to succeed. Let's call it KISS. Knowledge, information, system, succeed. The knowledge that you need, well, you can come here, of course. You just subscribe, make sure you get the knowledge that I give out. Any information about growing your channel or whatever, again, press the subscribe button. No, all jokes aside, it's going to be very important that you write that down so you know where to go. What are your resources? Hopefully it's this channel. Press the subscribe button. What information do you need? Hopefully, again, this channel. Press the subscribe button. What are you going to use in order to get yourself forward? A lot of people go aimlessly into, hey, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, but they haven't even picked up a nutrition book or subscribe to some sort of service where they're going to get information fed to them on a timely basis so that they can work their way towards that goal. That knowledge, that information, those systems are very, very key. I'm going to be teaching you a lot about systems that you can use. One of my favorite systems for channel growth, of course, is TubeBuddy. Again, link in the description. Now, let's keep it serious. The next thing you're going to want to write down is you're going to want to write down the obstacles that might come up and get in your way. It is very important to know what these obstacles are, so that way when you see them, you have a plan of how to go around them. For most people, when it comes to content creation, the number one obstacle is time. So we're going to work on getting you better at your time management so that you have more time to create for your channel. We're going to work on making sure, again, you're keeping that family buy-in checked on. Make sure you check on them once a week. Hey guys, I'm still doing this content creator thing. Everybody cool? Is there anything that I'm missing? Is there anything you want me to know about? Keep that communication open so that way your family doesn't become the number one obstacle. As it turns out, for most creators, that tends to be what it is. Family and friends become the biggest obstacle, so you got to keep them on board as well. A key element to making sure your action plan is working for you, because now you got this action plan, you got your steps, you got your systems, your knowledge, you know what's going on, schedule it. This has been a big one for me. It has completely helped since I learned to start scheduling it. Give yourself dedicated time to hone your craft, dedicated time to edit, dedicated time to shoot. Now, of course, schedule changes and you gotta be flexible. I mentioned that earlier in the video. You have to be flexible. The idea of having a schedule, someplace where you know that on Saturday afternoons, I'm in the laboratory working. That's gonna get you much further than I will get to it when I have time. You have to make time. The home run of this entire action plan is we're going to focus on one thing. Again, for me this year is focusing on my YouTube channel, and for my YouTube channel, I hope to get to 10,000 subscribers this year. That's my goal. I'm going to do everything in my power to get there. Now, I tell you all the time, don't just chase subscribers. That's not it. I'm not chasing subscribers. I am going to do this by providing value, but it is something that I would like to see happen. So I'm going to make a concentrated effort to make sure I'm making the best quality videos, delivering the best value, so organically I can get those 10,000 subscribers. So you have to have something that you're focused on. And that way, you know, at night when you do your check-in, when you write in your journal, you can ask yourself the question, what did I do today to get me closer to my goal? That's it. Action plan. We are talking about action plan. Now that you have your action plan figured out, please make sure you press the subscribe button and watch the video that's coming up on screen next.